All right, hello guys. It's around 6:46. I'm so happy to share with you my latest thoughts on my artificial business intelligence. And so here in this live stream, I'm going to explain exactly the architecture so that
All right, hello guys.
Whoops.
It's around 6:46. I'm so happy to share with.
So we can all work together on creating this artificial business intelligence and we can all get rich. So the basic idea behind my PyGents, and I'm just going to explain exactly what it is. PyGent is just a name for Python agents. And these Python agents are different from the AI agents out there, including OpenClaw. Okay, so they're not the same thing as the autonomous agents out there. These Python agents are more like software programs, but I call them agents because they perform specific actions on your business files. Okay, so they are like a kind of artificial business intelligence, but it's really the old kind of artificial business intelligence, what we also known as GoFi, good old fashioned AI, and these are more like expert systems and software. So they're not really like the deep learning kind. They're not AI agents like Manus or OpenClaw, but still they can be useful, and we'll talk about the benefits. And these Python agents are not, they don't prevent you from using OpenClaw and other AI agents. So basically, my idea is that you're gonna have files on your computer. So let's say that this is your computer, and within your computer, you have different files, and we're gonna represent them by these squares or rectangles. You have different files that are sitting inside of your computers, and ideally they should be text files so that they can easily be read by the Python agents. Okay, so this is your computer. I'm just going to put it here so that we know this is your computer. And this is important to mention because these Python agents are working on your computer, and therefore there's no issue as to the privacy, right? So it's not in the cloud, it's not on some server at OpenAI or Anthropic. This is your computer, and these are your text files. Text files. And these are business files, right? So they contain highly sensitive information, which is why that's one of the key advantages of these Python agents, because they're reading your sensitive, confidential computer business files, and they're not exporting. You can shut off the internet. So what the Python agents are doing, just going to put this in the corner. We have different Python agents. So I'm going to represent them by circles because it's more dynamic. So they're really agents. They perform specific actions. And so here we can have PyGent 1, and they each specialize in a particular task. Okay, so this is Python agent 1, and then this is Python agent 2, and this is Python agent 3, for example. And there could be an army of such agents, and you download the agents that you want and that you need. You're going to have access to a whole library of AI agents. So let's represent this library. Let me see. Yeah, maybe something like this. So you have a whole library. I'm running out of space here, but just imagine that you have a whole library of Python agent. So this is the PyGent library in the cloud, right? And in my case, it's going to be sitting in my OneDrive folder. And to have access to these Python agents, of course, we're going to have to charge a small amount of money, not too restrictive, not too expensive, but you know. And so all of this is open source, by the way. Okay, open source is really the key, meaning that everyone builds it, everyone has access. Now, having access doesn't mean that you cannot charge for it. So you can create your own custom library and you can charge any amount of money for access to it. So anyways, we have these Python agents, and of course these are Python files. So for example, we're going to have an email marketing agent. So you can see from the extension that it's a Python file. So you just run it. You actually run the Python source code using PyCharm or any interpreter. All right. So what's happening with all of this? Well, once you download all of these PyGents, and let's say that you download the PyGent 3 over here. Whoops, sorry about that. You download the PyGent 3 over here, and you download the PyGent 2 because you don't really need the PyGent 1, right? So you have these two Python programs inside of your computer, and they're going to perform actions on your text files, on your business files. And all of this is, in a very secure environment because you're not connected to the internet. And so the next question is, what exactly are these Python agents doing? And so we're just going to blow them up and take a closer look. What are they doing? Like, why are you downloading these Python agents? So it turns out that these Python agents will perform specific operations on your text files. And I'm just going to remove this because now we know that we are in your computer environment, right? And I'm going to put these Python agents at the top. Okay, and I'm going to reduce the size. So what exactly are they doing? Well, what they do is that they perform specific actions on your files. It's a little bit like, it's very much like Claude Cowork, right? So PyGent number 2 will, get into your files. It can open your file and it perform certain operation. And then, lo and behold, it generates a new file, right? So the new file has more value than the old file. So let's use a practical example. Let's say that you have a business plan. Every business should have a business plan, right? But it doesn't mean that your business plan is good. So what the PyGent program is doing, so let's call it the business plan PyGent. What it's doing is that it's going to scan your business plan, and then it's going to identify keywords, the presence and also the absence of certain keywords, and then it's going to generate a new business plan that is better than the original business plan. So let's call it 2.0. And so this new business plan is going to be saved in a new folder, etc. But the point here is that these Python agents are performing work on this original business plan of yours, and now you have a second business plan. And then we have a second PyGent. My God, this is really exciting. A second PyGent called business implementation. So this second agent goes beyond the business plan. So it's going to read the new business plan. It's not going to read the old business plan, which is crappy, right? Let's face it. You're not good with business planning. I'm not good. But this business plan 2.0 is good. So this PyGen here is going to work on the second business plan. So it's going to read it, right? And then it's going to generate an implementation plan. This is so exciting. So So the second, not the second, but the business implementation file is created here. So let's call it business implementation. Let's call it 1.0. Now we have to differentiate between the files created by these PyGents and the original files that you have. So we're going to give it a different color. We're going to use the color green because this is where the money is. Money in the sense that these files are actually very valuable, right? So we're going to put them like this. And the original file that you have, they're not so good. Like, let's face it, you don't have enough experience, you don't have enough education, training, etc. And so you have different files here on your computer, but they're not that good. And the PyGents will improve those files. Because today we talk a lot about agents and, they take action. But what people forget is that business is really a war. Before you take action, you've got to have the right strategy. So these Python programs really focus on the strategy, not so much on the action. The action can be performed by Manus and OpenClaw, etc. later on, but you've got to have the right strategy in place and all the right documents. So here we have the business plan. Here we might have the email marketing plan. Here you might have, social media plan. Here you might have the funnel plan, like what kind of funnel are you going to create? And here you might have the CRM plan, how you're going to develop a customer relationship management system. And so here we're just focusing on the business plan, right? And you get a better business plan 2.0, and from your business plan 2.0 you have an implementation plan. So I'm going to put this business implementation plan I'm going to put it over here. It makes more sense, right? So this business implementation Python program will take a high quality business plan and it will create a business implementation 1.0. And so in a nutshell, guys, that's exactly what the artificial business intelligence Python version, that's what it's doing. So I'm going to give it a name here. Just going to say this is the artificial business intelligence, but Python edition. And when I put PyY here, I simply mean it's a suite, it's a collection of Python programs. And you can download these Python programs, the source code, you can download straight to your computer and you can run them. And when you run them, they're going to perform specific operations on your business files. So I'm going to stop here, but I think you get the idea. You can have dozens of such Python programs represented by the circles here. You can have dozens of them, and they will perform on all your business files, and they will create new and better files. So yeah, maybe I should do that. So let's think in the limit. In the limit, what's going to happen is that you're going to have tons of business files. You're going to have tons of Python agents, and it's going to dramatically improve your business. So on the one hand, you have all your business files here. I'm just going to represent them by these red documents. And then on the left hand side, you have tons and tons of Python programs. And we're going to represent them by this circle. And like I said, we're going to have an open source library of such Python programs, meaning that anyone can contribute. I'm going to be like Linus Torvalds, right? I'm going to be the benevolent dictator, making sure that all the submissions to the library are good, of a certain quality. So you can see that you can have tons and tons of such Python programs, and it's up to you to choose the Python programs that will suit your needs, right? And then, you run those Python programs on your different business files. And as a result, you're going to be able to, generate, you're going to be able to generate high value business files, and I'm going to put them in green. So you can see that these Python programs will perform actions on your business files on your computer. So it's perfectly secure. There's no leak of information. Your confidential data remains as they are. So this is, the presentation I show to investors. I tell them, look, these Python agents are not fancy like OpenClaw, but they do perform work, and anybody can do this. The setup is very simple, relatively, and so we're just going to use an arrow to show exactly what's happening. So you have all these Python agents, and you select the ones that correspond to your needs. They, and then you generate all these documents, and that's it. If we zoom out, let me see. If we zoom out, we can see the entire ecosystem. So and thinking in terms of ecosystems is important to me, because I want to make sure that everyone can contribute. So here on the left hand side, you see all these circles. These are the Python programs that you have selected, but of course there's going to be like a vast number of Python programs that you can choose from, right? And so let me just represent them by, so in our online library, you're gonna have like a rapidly expanding number of available Python programs, and the Python programs over here are the ones that you have selected because they are relevant to your business. But in fact, you have a whole library of such Python programs developed by other people. And so that's the ecosystem. And so you can see that in the long term, you're going to be fully supported, because you're going to have, all of these Python programs available in the cloud to you when you join our community. And you select the ones that are relevant to you. They perform specific operations on your red business files, and you have the green business files. And so the green business files represent improved business plans, improved procedures, improved processes, etc. And so when you have these improved procedures here represented by the green squares, then you can take action. So let's follow through on that and see what happens. So you don't use your red business files anymore. They're no good. You just have the green ones. But of course, these are just business files. They're not doing anything, right? And so you have to perform action, because these are just files sitting on your computer. You have to perform action. So what are the actions? First of all, we're just going to change the color. We're going to put them in purple. So these are specific actions that you have to perform based on the new business documents that you have over here. So these are actions. Now, the cool thing, like I said before, is that these actions can be performed by your AI agents, right? So, for example, you can outsource this action to Manus or OpenClaw. Hold on, let me just create something better. Yeah, like this. So, you know, this can be performed, by, I don't know, Manus. And this action can be performed by OpenClaw. And the third one can be performed by you. And then you have more actions that can be performed by your affiliates, etc. And so you can see that we're going from these business files or plans, procedures. It can be, I don't know, sales, presentations, can be pitch deck, if you're seeking investors. And so, from these business files, you perform action. The action is performed by AI agents or you or your affiliates, etc. So the action, and it they take the action and it leads to certain results. So you can see that my view is very comprehensive. I cover everything. So these are results. Because ultimately that's what you want. It's not enough to have these Python programs improve your business files and generate new business files. At the end of the day, from these business files, you have to perform action. The action is performed by AI agents or you or your affiliates or any stakeholder. They perform specific action and you get the results. So you can see that it goes from A to Z. A meaning that you have all these Python agents that are working on your business files, and they create these green business documents, and from the green business documents you take action and you get the results. And even these results later on can be analyzed by ChatGPT or Gemini or any large language model, and also analyzed by our Python programs. So it's a very complete system, and this is something that I envision for every human being on the planet. If you have a computer, you can download all of these Python programs, right? And you can run them on your computer. We're going to have Zoom sessions and YouTube live stream to teach you how to do that. It's not difficult, but these Python programs are not compiled. They're Python source code, so there's no virus. You can check for virus. So there's no virus, there's no malware, because it's a source code. And once you have these Python programs, you can make them perform analysis and actions on your business files, and that's how you eventually you can generate business documents, and then you can take action and you can get the results. So that's it, guys. That's really the master plan behind my Python agents, which it's not the only candidate for my artificial business intelligence, but I think it's a low-hanging fruit in the sense that it's very easy to understand. It's open source. Everyone is going to build it. Everyone will have access to it. And that's it. So we live in phenomenal times, but I think that we have to work together. And hopefully this open source project will allow people to work together so that we can all create our own individual businesses and we can succeed. You cannot rely on OpenAI or Microsoft or Google. They're going to continue to compete and create large language models that will be cheaper and more powerful. But ultimately, your business is your responsibility, right? So all the files in your computer that are relevant to your business, you have to keep improving those files, and you have to keep improving your AI agents and improve your actions and improve your results. And that's the only way you're going to succeed